Hey, this is Robert Ferguson. I am a nutritionist, scientist, author, a guy who cares. That's the most important thing. And I've helped people for many years not only lose weight, but improve overall health. We've done two evidence based clinical trials where the outcome has substantiated everything that we put out in front of people. And I wanted to take a moment to share some information with you that I believe can be very helpful. So if you got questions, don't hesitate. Post your questions, whether you're catching us on YouTube, if you're catching us on Facebook, in our private groups, whether it's live or the replay. If you have questions about what we talk about, post it, and I will do the best that I possibly can to answer your questions. Now, before I get into why I'm sharing this post right now, I want to ask you a couple questions. I want you to really think about this, okay? Think about it. Right now, in the world that we live in, people are constantly talking about immunization. They're talking about your immune system. People are talking about boosting your immune system. And I've mentioned this many times over the years, keywords, that there's two ways that you can boost your immune system. And once you understand this, whenever you see a company talking about boosting immune system, if it doesn't fall into these two categories, then it's a lie. It's not real. The number one way that you can boost your immune system is through vaccinations. Okay. And I'm not talking about COVID. I'm just talking about any vaccination. That's what it does. The second way is through movement and activity. Movement and activity, right? So if you exercise, that is a natural way to boost your immunity. Okay, so you guys with me? So let's move away from that. So there's no pill. There's all these things that are out there that are, it's all lies. Okay, so you want to understand, like when we're talking immune system, but that's not the focus of what I'm sharing. My goal right now is to help you understand what the hell we're boosting. Now, if 70% of your immune system, I'm going to say it again, 70% plus of your immune system, if 70% of your immune system is this thing that we call the gut microbiome, anyone who talks about the immune system and they do not mention the gut microbiome is a liar, or they're just uninformed, sometimes uneducated, and they just don't know any better. And that would be a large majority of the influencers and the people who are sharing the news. If you're going to mention the immune system, you must acknowledge the gut microbiome. Otherwise, you are behind the times. You are not up to date. And we could just stop right here. I could just stop right now and just think about that. Now, if that doesn't get your attention, then that just means that you don't understand what the gut microbiome is. You don't get it. This is why we are putting together, or we have put together, a course that is affordable. It's going to be available, and it's something that you want to share with family and friends so that they can become knowledgeable of the gut microbiome. Now is the time. Now, what I'm about to share with you, let's just say 10% of it is 100% true. And I'm saying that 70% of your microbiome is your immune system. Well, let's just say that that's true, which I know is true, but let's just say it's true. Why wouldn't you want to hear what I'm about to share? Why wouldn't you want to educate yourself? Now, I understand you would have questions about the fact that, why am I just now hearing about this? Why hasn't my doctor mentioned this? Why didn't my personal trainer mention this? Why didn't this person mention it? Well, they just don't know. The microbiome is It's more than fascinating. And even the people who are the top level experts about the microbiome will tell you that we're just getting started. It's kind of like Einstein when he talked about the brain, right? We're not even using 10% of the brain. There's so much more waiting on us. But your microbiome is king. It's king. Now look at the questions that I posted, okay? And I'm going to share something with you. It's going to blow your mind. But I posted 3 questions. I said, do you struggle with bloating, constipation, or uncontrollable gas? Now, we don't need to hear your words, but if you want to share it, hey, I invite it. If that's a concern or if that's an issue that you deal with on a regular basis, then you want to know more about the microbiome. The second question is, would you like to naturally strengthen your immune system? Who wouldn't? With the concerns of COVID out there, the concerns, not just, COVID or SARS-CoV-2, the infection, the disease of COVID, the flu, and other viruses that we are dealing with on a regular basis, who wouldn't want to strengthen their immune system? Yes, raise my hand high. And then the third question is losing weight and reducing inflammation a constant struggle? Now, if you're 25, maybe 30, before kids, weight loss, you just kind of like start eating healthy and it just kind of happens. But hear me out. Some people are doing everything right. And guess what? They're not able to lose weight. And the sad part is that they'll talk to someone, it could be a friend, a family member, and they'll say, no, I'm doing everything right. I'm not eating this. And people will judge them. They will just assume that they're lying. They're not lying. And I'm not going to go into studies and make this an educational piece at this moment, but there's so much data, so many studies that I can share with you that will blow your mind, where weight loss is not just about calories in versus calories out. Weight loss is not just about avoiding this and avoiding that. Your microbiome plays a huge role in so many things. And I raise my hand to God, and I am thankful that 10 years ago, I was introduced to the microbiome. And in the last 5 years, I've been able to meet some amazing people who are experts, in my opinion, in the microbiome. They're leading experts. Many of them are gastroenterologists. And then I met this amazing lady, Dr. Sabine, who helping people is the priority of all her work. And she is like as legit as they come. You don't meet people like this. And there are no coincidences. You can call it what you want, serendipity, fate. But the reality is I met this lady and she's opened my eyes to many things. And with the work that I have done, it just made sense. It came together. The microbiome, say it 20 times. And I was making fun of the microbiome earlier, having a conversation, because I can see, going into the barbershop in the coming months or years and someone attempting to explain the microbiome. The word will get just beat up. You know what I mean? Just be micro, like the enunciation, but micro, just think microbiome. And we're talking about, for the most part, I'm dumbing this down, okay? The bacteria, healthy and not so healthy, in your intestinal tract, right? We're talking about your gut microbiome. Microbes, bacteria, they are essential in so many ways. And we do so many things to mess it up. I mean, right now, there are people who look at Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. And a lot of the reasoning behind that is because of the association and realization that it's the microbiome that may be contributing big time. and I could take out the maybe, and it says, and say contributing big time to Alzheimer's, dementia, inflammation, challenges with losing weight. And most people have what they refer to as dysbiosis, an unbalance or imbalance of their microbiome. If you sell supplements, if you're a dietitian, if you're a personal trainer, if you're a doctor, and you are not talking about the microbiome, specifically the gut microbiome, you want to take this course. You want to get yourself educated, because in the very near future, when you go to a doctor's visit, like your annual visit, you know how they have you step on the scale and then they take your temperature and then they, do your blood pressure. They're going to be checking your microbiome 100%, because in your microbiome is going to have the answers to so many things. I have a client that I just started working with, and this is the main reason why I wanted to do this post. And then I'll answer any questions that you guys have. So if you have questions, please post your questions while you catch me live in the comments. At the same time, you can email me. I always make my email available, and I'll get back to you 100%. And a lot of questions that I get all the time is, why isn't Dr. Fauci talking about the gut microbiome? Trust me, he's aware of the gut microbiome, but it's extremely new to him. If I was a Dr. Fauci, I would be humbled, and I would reach out to someone like a Dr. Sabine and get educated, because she's got, some amazing studies, and there's others like her, but I'm biased because I know where her heart is. And there's some others that I could recommend, but right now I'm riding this train. I think, I believe that Dr. Sabine is the real deal. And the work that she has made available to the world is amazing. And there's so much more coming that I'm somewhat aware of. And I can't wait, because it's a game changer. But he just doesn't know. So many people don't know. Okay, think about the world we live in. I watch people getting on TV and talking about immune system and get your immune system, and they're not mentioning the gut microbiome. Like, what? And it's not their fault. They just don't know. When the pandemic first started, that's the first thing. As soon as I went on New York TV and different TV stations, Newsmax, etc., every time, if you go look it up, I was talking about gut microbiome, and the newscasters just stared at me and I like, huh? And of course, you take a couple minutes or 30, 40 seconds and explain what it is. But it's so fresh, it's so new that they can't get it. And in my practice, because what we do up front right now in helping people is address and get your microbiome as healthy as possible, everything gets better. Everything, the bloating, the constipation, uncontrollable gas, your immune system is elevated, inflammation goes down, weight loss you become more efficient at being able to drop the pounds, because we focus on getting your microbiome as healthy as possible. Everything that we recommend and do is about your microbiome, and then we bring in the Diet Free Life methodology, and it all comes together. So you're either going to get with it like now, or trust me, you'll be saying, I remember Robert talking about the microbiome. I hear that like every day. People go, I remember you talking about that a year ago. I remember you talking about that 3 years ago. I even told coaches that I've worked with and trained, I said, you guys, I was saying this 3, 4, 5 years ago. Everything in the future is going to be about the microbiome. And we just happen to have a really good methodology to help people. We have been able to reverse type 2 diabetes because we address the microbiome. We have been able to get people off medication, off high blood pressure medication, metformin, etc., because we're always thinking about the microbiome. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that there are people who are alive today or did not have to get admitted to the hospital because we got their microbiome healthier. And when they came down with COVID and various other illnesses, they were able to thrive through it. And that's because they had a strong microbiome. You could be diagnosed right now with type 2 diabetes. You could have excess body fat and be considered obese and get your microbiome healthier. And if you did get something like COVID, you would be in a much better place because 70% of your immune system is your microbiome. How can we talk about immune systems and not talk about the microbiome? It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. We're not talking about 10%, 13%, 70%. Go look it up. Go on Google and look it up. Microbiome immune system. And you will come and you will notice that it's actually more than 70%. But from a conservative standpoint, I'm saying 70%. And that's where people stay because we know it's more than that. But anyway, let me look at, if you got any questions, send them my way. I will answer. I want to say what's up to everybody. Hey, let's see. What's up, Trudy? How you doing? Let's see. Stacy, what is going on? Rock and roll. Don't stop. Body rock. Let's see here. Okay, let's get to it. So let's talk about the microbiome. Let's help some people. Let's help some people live their healthiest life. Well, one of the best ways to do that is to share stories. Okay. And so let's talk about some real stories. I have a young lady that her microbiome is almost like, it's like ruined. And when I say that, I'm being very, very honest. Her bifidobacterium, which is a key marker when you have a healthy bacteria, a healthy microbiome, is really low. And so when that's the case, it throws everything off. Like so many things are thrown off. On the outside, she looks very fit. She looks very healthy. But unfortunately, because the microbiome is off, she's living a life of struggle and challenge. And as a result of this struggle and challenge with her health, we can't make the progress we would like to make until we get her microbiome healthier. So at that point, you want to lay the foundation. It's kind of like if we looked at the Amazon, right? The beautiful jungle, that would be considered healthy. That's a healthy microbiome. If we look at the desert, right? And it's dry, etc., that would be an imbalance of a microbiome, not healthy. And if we knew that planting trees and orchards, let's say apples, an apple orchard, would be ideal, we couldn't just go out into the desert with some apple seeds and toss them up in the air and come back a week later and have an orchard. We would go in knowing that we're going to plant the seeds, but it's very important that we nurture the soil that those seeds are on, and we do what is necessary over an amount of time to get those seeds to eventually come to fruition and sprout out and eventually have some apple trees. And eventually from the apple trees, we will get the apples. It takes time. Some of you are stuck and don't understand why you exercise all the time. You feel like you eat pretty healthy, and you start looking for reasons why you're not able to lose the weight or why you're not able to get your waistline to get smaller. And you're not really going to the root. The root would be your microbiome. Hippocrates, the father of modern day medicine over 2,000 years ago, he said in his own words, all disease begins in the gut. So just think about that. If all disease begins in the gut, your microbiome, why aren't we, well, there are people who are doing this, but the goal is we want more people looking at the gut. because that's the root of it. I've had gastroenterologists, I've even heard Dr. Sabine, is that we look at a person's fecal matter, right? If we look at their microbes and track that, we can see all kind of things before they come to fruition. They weren't doing colonoscopies 40 years ago, but they are now. That's in the microbiome because they've learned. It's just a matter of time. Now, Hippocrates also said, let thy medicine be thy food, and thy food be thy medicine. Think about that. There is a relationship between the foods that we consume and the health of our gut microbiome. What we're about to do and make available is provide a course that will empower people to have the knowledge to be able to make over their microbiome. And you'll learn how to find out if your microbiome is disrupted. And there are things that you can do to find that out. But just assume it's disrupted. Assume you have dysbiosis. Just assume that. What would life look like to make it better? And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So with this young lady that I'm sharing with you, it's not an easy task. And I say that because there's some work to be done. But we're not talking about a year. We're not even talking about 6 months or 3 months. Inside of 30 days, you can be in an amazing place if you commit to it, right? We know that every 20 minutes, you have a new generation of microbes that are in your gut. Inside of 1 hour, that's 3 generations. That's amazing. We know through studies that inside of 24 hours, you can begin to see improvement with the microbiome in 24 hours. But you got to give it the right stuff in order to make that happen. That's what this is all about. It's all about giving people the opportunity. And if you take your eye off the ball, hear me on this. If you take your eye off the ball, then your progress is going to be limited. Don't put it off. Don't put it off. All right, so I want to give a big shout out to, hey, what's up there, Christine Martinez? I'm glad you were able to catch me here. Lisa G's in the house. I got a TV show that's like out of control right now in the background. Let me turn that down. What's up there, BK? BK's my partner in crime. And we got Tracy Olson. What's up, Tracy? Let's connect, Tracy. There are some amazing things taking place right now, you guys. We have some amazing things happening at this very moment. And so when we launch this course, which is going to happen in the next couple of days, you can sign up early. You will learn a lot. You will get the meal plan, all the things that you would want. And I strongly recommend get as many people as you know. Tell your personal trainers, nutritionists that you know, fitness people that you know, because they really need to get educated. Because it's the same as understanding what cardio is. The same as understanding what resistance training is. You want to know what the gut microbiome is. That's just part of the deal. It's like, do we all agree that drinking more water is good for our overall health? We would all agree if it's clean, good water, yes. Well, I would say the microbiome is more important, equally, if not more important than that. So be the first. There's a land grab opportunity right now for a lot of people. And that land grab opportunity is you could be the first in your family. You could be the first in your community. You could be the first influencer of people that you talk to be able to educate them on the basics of the gut microbiome, because it's critical and it's real. And what's cool is everything that you'll learn is all substantiated. You'll have access to, reading the abstracts and access, if you want, to purchase the entire study so you can, become very knowledgeable. But every day I think about my microbiome. The way I eat, I have rituals that I do on a regular basis now that I know support and nurture my microbiome. I know the importance of it. And it just blows my mind how I watch certain people because it wasn't part of their education and training 10, 20, 30 years ago that they're continuing to just wait and wait and wait. And then they Google a little bit and look around, but they don't know because they're not going to invest the same amount of energy and time as they did 20 years ago when they went to college and school to become a physician. The microbiome is gold. We must understand it because that is going to hold the key to being able to unlock opportunities for you to maximize, whether it's weight loss, reversing and reducing bloating, inflammation, mental focus. I mean, you name it. I have one client, and I'll end on this, who literally is no longer taking antidepressant medication because we got his microbiome healthier. And for most people, they go, what? How does that have to do with anything? Well, 90% plus of the serotonin that's produced in your body is produced in your microbiome. And serotonin is the feel good, the mood drug, if you will, that lifts us, that has us feeling good. And that's what Zoloft and some of these drugs do. Well, now, if the microbiome is producing more of that, he didn't need to take all those drugs. You follow me? That's all because of a healthier microbiome. So I'm not going to scream at you. I'm just telling you it is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. What's up? What is it? Barbara says, yep, I have so upgraded. Yeah, but actually Barbara's doing something really cool that we'll be sharing very, very, very soon in this course. I got 3 minutes left, you guys, before I got to jump off. Susanna, I know you're on board 100%. Let me see. Someone asked, thanks. I'm congratulating you on helping me with my constipation. Hey, hey, that's real talk, you guys. That is real talk. And let's rock and roll. Let's keep it going. Life is good. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen as people become knowledgeable. Because once people become knowledgeable, everything gets better. Everything. So anyway, if you have questions, you can email us. You can learn more. We'll be opening the gates for early registration for the course and for what we're doing. You can go to dietfreelife.com to really understand the basics of the methodology if you're new to it. Yeah, I'm very excited. We have a TV show called The Healthy Truth. We're working on the format of the show right now and implementing so that on a regular basis we have information like this. And it's just going to get better and better. It's only going to get better and better. So you guys take care.